So I recently had some conversations with people about 4 notes per string scale shapes. Now these were something that I experimented with originally when I had my guitar tuned in fifths rather than fourths. And actually I found that gave me some insights into particularly how to visualize these, how to visualize the neck, that I found really useful when I brought it back to a guitar in standard tuning. So that's what I want to talk about this week. Now, in terms of playing these, there's a few techniques that I've seen people use over the years. There's playing 3 notes with the left hand and hammering on with the right hand. Or there's playing with a slide. Or my own particular favourite is just a finger per fret. But in all cases, the underlying visualization, the way the neck's laid out, is the same. And that's really what I want to talk about this week. Let's play up the G major scale and look at the chart. So we have this. As you might be able to see, there's something going on, but it's not that visible. So if I take that same shape, but now play it on a guitar tuned in fifths, you find that it gets rid of that diagonal movement up the neck, and everything stays in the same place on the neck. And hopefully you can see it exposes, it shows a symmetry in the shape that's maybe not so apparent when it's laid out in that diagonal pattern going across the neck. And that's what I found so useful about thinking about the guitar as though it's tuned in fifths. Now, what I want to do is to add one more string to this. So instead of playing a 6-string guitar, you visualize playing a 7-string guitar. And when you do that, there's one more string pattern to memorize, and that's just four notes where the interval between each note is a tone. And that shape, that 7-string shape, is all that I maintain in my head in order to visualize playing 4 notes per string patterns. So let's zoom in and I'll show you. Okay, so the shapes that I've shown you are based on a guitar tuned in fifths, and what I want to do is to unpack that and map it back onto a guitar with standard tuning, so I thought I'll do that now. So if you look at that shape, the first string is basically a tone and a semitone, and then it's a tone, tone, semitone on the next string. And in the shape they're all on the same frets, but as I'm tuned in fourths, I need to move the next string up 2 frets, and then the next string up 2 frets, next string up 2 frets. Now G to B is a major third. We tune that differently to the rest of the guitar, so we need to move up 3 frets to the next shape, and the next shape above that. So hopefully you can see how that maps out. So basically you lay the shape out diagonally across the neck. Now what about starting from a different note? What about if I was playing a guitar, I want to play in A major, I want to make that the root note of my A major scale. So I take that original pattern, that original form in my mind, and at the lowest string of the pattern specifies a root note, and so as that's an A, I do that same tone, tone, semitone, and moving up to the next string, again I slide up 2 frets, then going from G to B I slide up 3 frets, 3 frets. Okay, so again, so that's just working up the A major, starting from that note. What about going the other way? Well, going the other way, I assume that the shape wraps. So that's the lowest string that I've got on the shape that I show you, so I wrap it back around to the top. And I play the very top string shape, which is 4 notes that are a tone apart. And then I play the string below that, which starts with a semitone and then 2 tones. So hopefully you can see how the shape just repeats and wraps around itself. So if you can get that concept of the shape just wrapping around itself, and you can get that concept of the fact that the guitar is tuned in fourths, not fifths, so you have to move by 2 frets as you move between most of the strings. Then, as I say, that visualization of a guitar tuned in fifths is really all you need to be able to play any of the inversions of the 4 notes per string major scale shapes anywhere on the neck. So I'll stick all the graphics that I used to create this video into a PDF and make that available to my Patreons, but hopefully you can see this is really quite a straightforward shape. It's easy to memorize, so I don't think you necessarily need that. But hopefully you found this straightforward. Maybe I'll follow this on with a few videos talking about the techniques to play across these kinds of scales, but we'll do that next time. Okay, hopefully that was useful for you. I'll chat next time. Goodbye.